There were a ton of viral TikToks where these Gen Z kids were going in and showing people how to, like, hey, link in my bio, you can go to one of his rallies and you can get tickets.
Yeah.
And so they were going in and buying up or like reserving all the tickets for these rallies. So there's a bunch of empty seats and they were selling out. And then they were going into it. They talked about, there was one I saw where they would go into his little merch store and you go in and you add everything you can into your cart, and then you don't buy it, and it stays there, and then people can't buy it, and they can't get the merch, and so they're trolling him.
They were,
and he got upset.
Yep.
Welcome to season 3 of the Explain Everything podcast. In the next 30 minutes, your two best friends are gonna help you stay the smartest person in every room. And hey, tell all your friends about this podcast, or you'll never meet your true love. Don't worry though, Neil will love you. Not more than chili cheese conies though. Don't be ridiculous. We've got new full episodes every Monday and little baby bonus episodes every Thursday. An all new Explain Everything podcast starts right now. Looks like we made it.
I'm ready when you are, Neil.
Oh, I've been ready. I was born ready.
But I wasn't born yesterday.
I'm ready. I've done it
again
too many times. Welcome, everybody, to the Tyler and Neil Explain Everything podcast.
Look at us.
What are we going to do?
I guess they're going to listen to us or they're going to click off and listen to something else. It's only two options.
I didn't even think that was an option. I actually think the podcast app only has our podcast in it.
You know how teachers can lock students into a website so they can't click on something else and cheat? Could we set that up to where we lock people into our podcast and they have to listen?
Only if it means that we have to do like a heist movie and we have to go like into the administrator's computers.
I need 1 more minute.
Yeah.
Just
solid. That. And then somebody's coming, they're coming into the room and they keep showing that back and forth between us still in the room and they're really close to the door and all of a sudden you open it up and all of a sudden you're like, they open the door.
And then we're closing
the ceiling tile closes underneath. You're like, how in the world did we do that?
Did we get up there so quick? Well, they weren't parallel. So the time happening, it was like we were a little bit ahead. You just didn't know. It was like Christopher Nolan film.
I didn't
You're
realize
like, that was 6 years there. I did not know.
It took me six years to get up into the ceiling tile. Okay, so
that's good. That's good.
It's a true story.
Okay.
I was the youngest manager for McDonald's in the state of Ohio when I was a manager. And it's stupid.
How old were you?
It's stupid. I was 17.
I thought you were going to say like 12.
I was a store manager. I was 4
I'm
years
a 12-year-old mayor.
So I was a manager and they closed the store down on Thanksgiving to give the employees time, but they also decorate for Christmas during that time. So they would actually come in. So we had to come in, we had a bunch of food and I had kind of like stuff for people to do and hang out. But we're putting in all this decorations. We needed to take some lights, some wiring across the ceiling tiles over to the other side. So I got up in the ceiling.
Of course.
I'm crawling across it. And of course, it caved.
Of course.
And I came down with both of my knees straight across the back of one of those benches.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I bet you later in life you're going to have knee surgery. Do you ever think about that?
Oh, wow. I didn't really put that together until just now.
Yeah, Neil's going to probably.
Yeah, I'm going to.
Can we say that on air?
Sure, you can. I don't care.
He's probably going to have knee
Don't
surgery.
say it. Redacted.
We're going to put black marker over it. But hold it to the light.
We are, this is Dr. Tarver. My name's Neil. We're going to explain something to you.
Can you at least be like Mr. Greathouse?
No.
Why am I Dr. last name
it's
and you're
even worse.
First name?
Because I'm the guy that says stay smart. That's why.
No, but you don't say it like that. How do you say it?
Stay smart.
Stay smart. You're like in Captain Planet. Earth, wind, fire, water. Heart. That's what you turn into.
Listen, I don't have a catchphrase, so I had to come up with that one.
I thought it was great.
Yeah, because you laugh at me.
I know, but it's funny.
If you guys could see it off camera, as soon as I'm done hitting record, there's maniacal laughter.
Yeah. Oh, my goodness.
So we're going to explain something to you that I think you're really going to want to know about. This is pop culture. This is a full length.
I cut that out of the video edit. Pop-up video.
I don't know how you even did that.
I'm sorry.
It's really good.
I hate myself.
You edited right on the fly. So
Pop-up.
What we're talking about today, no hop-ons, pop-up.
Focus, Tyler.
What we're talking about today, the TikTok ban is coming.
I'm not ready for this.
Tyler's not happy about this.
I'm super aggravated. I love TikTok.
So we've mentioned this before that some states are possibly going to ban, and actually half of the states in the United States. Why did I need to say that last part?
I don't know. It felt good though.
I felt I need to explain where the states are. Anyways, half of the U.S. states have actually already banned TikTok from government systems, the government Wi-Fi, government networks, and government devices. Wow. It happened in Arkansas. Arkansas, I believe, was the third state to do it. South Carolina was before that, and South Dakota was before that, which is interesting because they have one of the best parks and tourism TikTok channels out there. South Dakota's was amazing.
Great.
It was incredible.
Cool.
They also have incredible and fantastic hunting, pheasant hunting up there. It's great. It's beautiful.
Blocked.
It's
so
beautiful.
What happened to that account?
So the account is still there, but it can't get run by any of those state employees on
their
state
stuff.
devices. Right.
But they can use their personal device.
They would have to do it on their own time.
Do you think they're allowed to?
I don't know that you're going to be encouraged to work off the clock in South Dakota.
But everybody's working for the weekend.
Everybody's.
I knew it. Trying to pull that party out.
Couldn't do it. I couldn't.
Trying to get me about it.
Couldn't stop it. So that happened months ago. Actually, that happened in December. That first ban came out. But does that affect everyday people everywhere? No. But it is a precursor for or a prelude to what is about to come.
Yeah. Prelude to the Deluge.
And
that was a book.
Okay.
I had to read in college.
Oh.
It talks about the time between World War I and II.
Oh.
It's a prelude to like World War II happening.
Yeah.
Sorry, continue.
Yeah. No, it's intense.
Sorry, Neil. I'm just going to say whatever pops in my little brain.
So this is news, and I'm going to make a prediction. I'm going to just go ahead and say it.
Go.
It's going to happen.
How soon? Do you think it's going to happen this year?
Oh, yeah.
You think that TikTok will be banned in the United States this year?
Yes. Now, we do need to clarify this. So, and the reason why, because I did a lot of research on this. There's a real thing. This is it, and I'm going to CFIUS is the acronym for it. But this is the Committee on Foreign Investment in the United States. Mm-hmm. What they did is they raised national security concerns about the social media app TikTok, which we did one of our very first podcasts that we did, episodes that we did way back in the day, was on TikTok. Have we done two of them? I think we've done one on TikTok. Which accounts we like the most?
Oh, yes, right.
That's what it was.
Yeah.
So that it is owned. The company that owns it is called
ByteDance. I'm sorry. Yeah, I was thinking about how great you are as a person. Sorry.
Well, it's easy to get lost in there.
I know.
Because there's not a lot in there.
Oh my gosh.
There's not a lot in there. So ByteDance owns them. ByteDance is a company that is based out of China, which is bad. So they started investigating.
No, seriously, but I know you're about to go into this, but it's interesting watching the United States deal with people. It's like the kid that's like really, really fast in like 4th and 5th grade. He's like the fast kid, and that's like kind of his identity is I'm the fast kid and I walk pigeon-toed because all the fastest kids in elementary are pigeon-toed.
I remember that.
Now, here's the deal. He wins every race, and then a new kid moves in, and the rumor is that kid's fast too. And it's like they don't win every time, but those two kind of split races whenever there are races on the playground.
Okay.
And so that kid gets threatened. That's what we're seeing with America right now. Wow. It's like we have had the monopoly on tech giants across the world. Like we especially social media, they come from America. Obviously, class of 2003, we've got a good record. Me and Mark Zuckerberg, class of 2003, and LeBron James. But yeah, it's whatever. Best class ever.
Man.
And so, the pedigree of us three.
That's really good. That's great.
Three.
That's pretty good.
But that's the thing. Like, we are now having to look across the aisle and be like, okay, there's somebody that has a social media platform that rivals these.
Oh, yeah.
And they're not doing a good job of handling it.
Nope.
It's like we're getting upset and we're cussing on the playground.
Yeah. And to be fair, there are a lot of apps and websites that are banned in China. Yeah. So like we sit here and we're like, we're going to ban them and we're going to show them. Well, they're already doing it to us.
Yeah.
They actually
I know, but I don't want to use I can use those. I want to use TikTok and I live in America.
China actually just opened up. It's the first 2 Marvel movies that they've been able to see in like, I can't remember how long. Ant-Man and the Wasp and the Quantumania.
Oh, cool.
And they haven't released Black Panther Wakanda Forever yet, and they're actually going to release it there now.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, it's going to help. So I don't know why, but they had to make changes to it. They have to get edited versions of it and all that kind of stuff. So I don't know.
Did they have to replace the one white guy, the one FBI? They replaced him with a Chinese actor.
That's hilarious.
Like Kung Pao, Enter the Fist. You remember that? Like,
yes.
They dub over it. That'd be great.
Totally dubbed over.
Underrated movie, by the way.
All this investigation began back in 2017 is when this happened. We're going to kind of give you some of the.
All this happened when?
This started in 2017.
That when ByteDance bought?
That's when
Musical.ly?
ByteDance bought it. Yes, and
Okay.
and so the investigation started then because Musical.ly was fairly popular. My kids were on it.
Yeah, it was for like little kids lip syncing.
It was. That's all it was. It was a lip syncing app. So just for reference, China has banned Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and Twitter, among others.
Well, no wonder ByteDance does so well over there.
Right. So think about it.
That's all that's allowed.
You've probably seen that video. The things that are allowed on the TikTok version, on the Chinese version of TikTok, is educational videos and government propaganda videos.
Okay.
And they also put a cap on
That
how long.
doesn't sound near as fun. If that was all it was here, well, I
right.
guess I do education videos. So yeah, I'd be okay with it.
Oh, you would do great in China.
Bump my views.
It'd be incredible. Some bell ringers over there. So here's the thing: is
Thanks for the shout out for the bell ringers, bro.
those bell ringers are good.
Yeah, are they?
Dr. Zahar, I've watched a bunch of them. So China's banned those. The reason why, like, as you ask, and we'll talk you through some of the calendar of events, a series of events in the order of how they actually happened, how we got here today. But we're also going to kind of explain like what would happen, how would this practically look if the United States bans TikTok here? How would that actually look? And we'll just say this ahead of time. They can't stop the people going to the website. Well, we may not technically be able to do that like China can, because it's a monopoly on their internet and everything there. So they can do that easily there. We can't here. But the way they would do it is they would ban both of the or any app store from having the app. So now your app would just not work.
Okay.
That's how it will happen.
It'll just stop.
It's going to stop. It's not like, hey, there's no new updates. It's like this app has been removed, because there are a lot of apps that get removed from the App Store and they're not available anymore. That's what will happen with TikTok. So this Tyler is sullen right now.
I'm so aggravated.
Here, so national security is the reason. This is why.
Sure it is. Not lobbyists for the other companies.
So what it is? So U.S. lawmakers, they really believe the Chinese government is using the app to spy on Americans and to push. It's not just that. Not only spy on Americans, but also push.
I'm sorry.
Push harmful content through their For You page algorithm.
Oh yeah, what harmful content? What harmful content?
I don't know. I watched this little chipmunk come up the other day and start eating a bunch of like peanuts and stuff like that.
He's probably a spy.
Yeah, that's exactly what it was. It was a robot.
Like, okay, what information? Like, we're putting it out on they can still watch Facebook, and like if they're gathering information, like, well, they're getting data getting data of what? Like the fact that Americans are boring and all they do is watch Netflix and go to the grocery store.
Okay, so
now we don't even do that. They deliver it to our house.
Yeah, we should talk about this, because weren't Facebook, Meta, Instagram, all of these other companies, weren't they on trial for this last year?
Yes.
The release of information, the tampering with election results and advertising and users' information. Facebook was on the hot seat for this last year, and they hated that. Who do you think stands to benefit most from TikTok being banned in the United States?
Instagram, YouTube, and Facebook. Meta and YouTube.
Meta.
And I guess Snapchat maybe.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
think about it.
Yeah.
U.S. based.
So they're lobbying for this to happen, like crazy.
Just wait until you see how much money they're putting in.
Oh my gosh!
So this is really scary. So what pushed the USA over the edge at the end of 2022? Something bad happened, and it is a genuine mistake. Up until that point, I don't think it was anything other than paranoia. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to talk about this. So in 2019, in Washington D.C. ByteDance started spending money to think about it. This is the beginning stages of the TikTok even being a thing. When did we do our episode? It couldn't have been 2019.
Yeah, I think it was right there.
2019. So in 2017, ByteDance started putting money into lobbyists in DC, because they knew being a Chinese-owned company wasn't bad, and they put $270,000 into lobbyists at that time.
Okay,
the company was tiny then. Hardly any following, any like advertisers weren't on there.
Pre-COVID, all that stuff.
Yeah, oh my gosh, way before it. So nothing was trending on TikTok at the time. So then in 2019 that all this stuff happened. In 2020, they settled a $5.7 million lawsuit against children's privacy law violations.
CIPA?
I don't know. I think that is. Yeah. Yes. So what the violations are basically, and this is on every social media account, there are certain things everything gets screened as well, but there are certain privacy So it's like, why does it ask you, are you this age? Are you 14 and older? Are you whatever? And that age of what, I don't know, what is it, 14, I think?
Yeah, the cutoff. They cut people off. Like TikTok removed those users recently.
Yep.
If you're of a certain age and you put it in there, that your account was taken down.
Yeah, you can't do it.
Yeah.
So, and that's why, because there are bad people who will absolutely use whatever platform. It doesn't matter if it's just TikTok. They'll use Pinterest for something bad. You know what I'm saying?
They'll walk to the park or whatever. Like there's bad people are going to find a way to be bad.
So in 2020, also in 2020, later on, they had to pay $5.7 million in that lawsuit against those children's privacy law violations. They put new orders in effect. I also wonder how much of that is they just didn't understand with the way it was in the United States, but I think you have to have U.S. people on your staff. You have to know. Yeah. They paid, and later on that year, they paid $2.61 million to federal lobbyists.
Wow.
So that's a massive jump from the previous year of $270,000 to now they're at $2.61 million in lobbyists.
That's almost 10 times.
You're very fast at that. I still can't even
just move the decimal over.
So let me ask you this. I don't know if people understand lobbyists. Can we explain lobbyists really quick?
Sure. There are people that companies pay to hang out with senators and influential government people and give them money to make decisions and laws that benefit that company. They're a middleman to influence our government officials to do things in public interest that benefit those companies.
Right.
They are, in my opinion, one of the worst things about the American government, and it is one of the things that is destroying it because now here's what I believe, personal belief, okay? Tyler's opinion, and I heard this somewhere and I think it's fantastic. If you are a government official, I think you should have to, you know, NASCAR, they wear those jackets. They wear big jackets.
Yeah.
I think you should have to wear those jackets at everything you do publicly. And those jackets should have patches, the sizes of the companies that are paying you. Oh my
gosh.
And so depending on who you're, like NRA is a huge patch that people wear, and different companies that pay these, government elected public service, in quotes, public service people. There are patches on there that show who's paying them most of their paychecks.
Yeah.
Because these guys aren't multimillionaires from their $120,000 a year senator salary.
They're capped on that senator salary. So where's all this other money coming from?
It's coming from lobbyists.
Yeah.
It's legit coming from lobbyists.
What are the two biggest, we were just talking about this earlier off the air. What are the two biggest lobbyists, the two largest lobby groups in the United States?
I mean, NRA has to be number one.
NRA is number one.
Guns and... pharmaceuticals.
Pharmaceuticals is number two.
Yeah.
They pay billions of dollars into all of our lawmakers. They will sponsor someone's election campaign. They will give towards election campaigns to help get this person in office.
Therefore, they're going to owe them.
That person owes them. Yeah. So when new laws come out,
they're going to be like, "Hey, remember that time we gave you $4 million? Here's another $2 million. Make this decision when this law comes up."
And you think you don't need it, and you get in there and you're like, "No, I'm going to do this without you." They're like, no, "You're cut off. You have no funding."
Then when you
can't compete.
When you are trying to get reelected, guess what? Or you're trying to pay your bills on your house in Washington and your house at home. Yeah. It's like you can only write so many books.
So then they pay, and usually write those books after you get the election in office. So they paid $2.6 million in federal lobbyists in 2020. That same year, President Donald Trump tried and failed to issue an executive order banning TikTok because of the threat that this is a national security threat. Remember, all of his talk about China. It was China this and China that and China that. He did not like the fact that this Chinese company had such influence in, and this is interesting. The majority of people who were on TikTok are of voting age.
Yeah.
That is where most people who are Gen Z are getting their information about voting, about who to vote for.
And when he first came out against TikTok, it was after.
Oh my gosh.
It was whenever he was running for re-election, and there were a ton of viral TikToks where these Gen Z kids were going in and showing people how to, like, hey, link in my bio, you can go to one of his rallies and you can get tickets.
Yeah.
And so they were going in and buying up or like reserving all the tickets for these rallies. So there's a bunch of empty seats and they were selling out. And then they were going into it. They talked about, there was one I saw where they would go into his little merch store and you go in and you add everything you can into your cart, and then you don't buy it, and it stays there, and then people can't buy it. and they can't get the merch. And so they're trolling him.
They were.
And he got upset.
Yep.
And he tried to make a law against it.
So he used something called the International Emergency Economic Powers Act.
Yeah.
That's not what it's intended for.
No.
But he used something totally different. Now it didn't work. He basically what he tried to do is he said this. He said that I'm ordering an American company to buy. Like you have to sell your company if you want to be in the United States. An American
Microsoft
company.
almost bought it.
Yeah, it
was
was
like
close.
what, 200 or 400 million,
It
something
was
like
close.
that. Somewhere there. Yeah.
I hope it was billion, not million.
No, I think it was million.
For real.
I think it was like they weren't buying the whole company. They were buying like a chunk of it
to say that it was
essentially saying like it's majority of this operating part was from America. I want to say it was 200 or 400 million if I remember right.
He put a clock on it. He said, if you don't do that, it will get banned in 45 days.
Yeah.
Well, that didn't happen.
Oh, yeah.
And then 2021, President Biden rescinds the order. What's really interesting is he has several nonprofits and other companies that work for him. They all have massive TikTok accounts. It's really interesting.
For real?
Yeah. Oh yeah. It's very interesting. Now they have been less active since the end of November, beginning of December
Because
when
of
all
all
the
this.
government stuff started coming out. Yeah. Dang. Yeah. Pretty interesting. So in 2021, TikTok spends or ByteDance, they spend $5.18 million in lobbyists.
So I've doubled it.
Yes.
Yeah,
Think about that from 2019 to 2021, massive jump in the amount of money. Then they signed a lease in 2021 to have their first office in Washington, D.C. Massive office building. They bought an entire floor out of one of these
They want
buildings.
those lobbyists at every party, every gala, every event.
Yeah.
Hanging out.
You want to be in
constantly.
D.C., not in China.
You're talking to these people every day.
Yes. So this happens. Then in 2022, this is just last year, they spent $6.7 million in lobbyists.
That's good.
Yeah,
increase.
it's a pretty sizable increase.
They haven't toned down a little bit.
No, in 2022, they bought the second floor of that building for their DC office. They're expanding. They're everywhere in DC. So this is where things are going bad. All of that stuff, people's awareness and fear. I have an uncle who's retired out of the Navy. He's in military. He actually is an independent contractor with them now. And he told me maybe a year and a half ago, he said, you have to watch out for this. I said, what do you mean? He said, they're tracking everything. I said, yeah, but I said, Uncle Scott, everything I have is tracking everything I have.
I was going to say, Google's tracked literally everything I've ever done.
And he said, I know. He goes, but what they're doing is they're following patterns. They're using your movements to determine what other people's movements are. I said, but wouldn't you just think then don't do bad things and then you're not going to have to be in trouble? People are like,
also, what are they tracking it for?
Well, what they're doing is
they're going to steal my lunch money. Like what is happening?
So the fear, and it's not my opinion. The fear is that they are building patterns for the way that cities and people work and move, so they can figure out what military is doing, what law enforcement is doing, what money is doing.
Okay, so just block the location services.
Yeah, that is a pretty big part of what they do. You could block the location services of that, but there's other things. What they're saying is these are people that are coming out against it. In the videos, you're basically recording the inside of your house and everything,
their houses.
and people are using that as a scam.
That's also available on Zillow.
On
like
everything.
You can see,
right.
Like Google Maps shows you everyone's house.
Everything. So this is where things take a turn. So they were kind of holding their own there for a while. They were doing fairly well, but in 2022, at the very end of last year, in December, several ByteDance employees got caught sharing secretive information about embedded U.S. journalists' locations that happened to have TikTok accounts.
So some employees went rogue.
Yes.
And sold some stuff that
Several
they
of
should
them.
not have sold.
Right.
It was actually had repercussions, not like, hey, Tyler has this wallpaper in his house.
Right.
Okay.
So then all of the fears are then warranted. They're like, see? So what it was a couple things. One, what the TikTok did is they fired those employees. They said they shouldn't have been there. But the fact that they had access to that information was strike number one. Strike number two, the fact that information was available to anyone else. What it's saying is they're not impervious to a cyber attack. Anybody could get through to any of it. And this is a Chinese-based company that has servers in China. You're talking about the CCP, the Chinese Communist Party, has access to our locations. That is too much for the U.S. government to handle for a lot of different reasons. So I'm not saying it's right. I'm just saying that those are the facts. I'm not here to tell you. So those employees were fired. In 2022, TikTok hired Jamal Brown, who is Joe Biden's press secretary, as their policy communications director.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, they're like, okay, we're gonna do this thing. We're gonna try and do it right. Now, all of this seems like a lot of money, and I want to put this into perspective for you. That seems like a lot of money on lobbyists. That seems like a lot of money in office buildings. But Meta and Amazon put those numbers to absolute shame.
Yeah.
Absolute shame. Meta spent over $21 million in 2021. Oh. They doubled that in 2022.
That's over 40.
Amazon spent over 19 million in 2021, and it was drastically more in 2022. These are companies that you use every day, and you don't think twice about it.
No,
but we do with TikTok. Why? Because they're Chinese based. So the all that talk with President Trump when he was talking about how you have to be a U.S. based company, that is an option that TikTok is actually looking into. So what they're doing is they're trying to build something called Project Texas. What is the most U.S. state that you could possibly think of in the United States?
It's got to be Texas. And fun fact, it's the only state that can legally become its own country. Do you know that?
No.
Yeah, there's something in there like in the, I don't know, the contract of them becoming in their constitution, their state constitution, where they can form their own country.
I didn't know
it's
that.
Legally allowed for them to.
What if that's how this is all going down?
They start their own.
Oh my gosh. Well, you know what? We got an inside man. It's a snow leopard, about 25 pounds. He's loose. He got loose.
About the size of a sheepadoodle. That's what some would say.
Okay, so in 2022, Project Texas actually. So Oracle. A lot of you guys know Oracle Arena. Mm-hmm. Is it still Oracle Arena? So Oracle is they're a data company. They have servers. They are a server-based company. They're a cloud-based company computing. You're basically storing your information on either Amazon Web Services or Oracle. Those are pretty much the two biggest ones that are out there. So what they did is TikTok basically said, listen, they're going to build its cloud infrastructure, its For You page algorithm, and content moderation tools, and house them in Texas.
Okay.
Will that appease the U.S. government? We don't have a resolution on this yet.
Depends on which lobbyists are paying them the most money.
Oh my gosh.
That's what appeases the U.S. government.
That's exactly what it's going to come down to. So what they're saying is, listen, we're not going to be just a Chinese-based company. We will have offices. We will have servers. Our cloud-based information and infrastructure, the For You, which is what the U.S. government is for some reason afraid of, is the For You page. And it's the algorithm behind it. Yeah. How do you know how these people are getting these political ads? How are you getting the information that you're getting? Is it corrupt? They think that it is. Why? Because the years previous, Facebook was doing everything corrupt. They're letting all this stuff in there. We've already talked about that. And their content moderation tools. That all has to be housed in Texas. And so they've started it. It's actually there right now. Is that enough for the U.S. government? Well, so that CFI US, CFIUS, they're requiring every layer of full transparency, that it is free of backdoors, manipulation of any information, and they want responsibility to protect against hackers.
Are they doing this, requiring this of any other company?
No.
Okay.
Nope. Why? Because they're not based in China.
Because they're Americans.
They're Americans. You've got our information. I'm okay with you having it, but I don't want those guys to have it, is really what it comes down to. Wow. So if TikTok doesn't clear every single requirement by this committee, they will be banned from app stores.
Do they have a deadline?
Well, they're in these hearings now, so they're doing all these studies now. There'll be a feasibility study of how long can this actually go. But the problem with all of this is TikTok did everything that they were supposed to do. They got Project Texas up and running, and then those employees at ByteDance went and sold that information and basically said they proved that this whole thing could be torn apart.
Yeah, which I'm assuming now ByteDance has made changes to these people where they can't get access to that stuff.
So certain employees can't, but they should. Those employees, I think it was less than 5, weren't allowed to have access to that information anyways.
Oh, they went in and got it.
So how did they actually go in and do it? So this is pretty crazy. They're saying that if TikTok gets banned, their only move after that is to sell the entire company to a U.S. based company.
All of ByteDance, or a piece of it?
All of ByteDance. All of it gets sold to a U.S. company.
That's and Elon just spent a lot of money.
He really did. So as long as it controls TikTok's algorithm, ByteDance must completely divest, and there must be an end to Chinese ownership and control of the app entirely.
We're trying to tell a company in another country.
What we're trying to do
sell
is
everything.
Think about it. It could be one. I mean, I know China has a lot of other exports, but this is one of their biggest.
Yeah.
This is one of the absolute biggest. So the people who will benefit most from this are all of the US based. And so that is why the amount of money that their lobbyists are spending has gone up drastically, is because it's not only just going towards protecting Meta and protecting Amazon and protecting Microsoft, but it's also to talk bad about and to spread misinformation about TikTok.
Oh, wow.
So this is almost like a Cold War, but it's all digital. It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. So currently, half of all states have already said no to TikTok on the government stuff. It'll be a month or two before all of them do. And this is where it's headed. So here's my question on a few of these things. Some of these people are saying that a ban on TikTok will backfire, that the U.S. people will lose their minds.
But what can we do? We have no power.
Right.
Like, so I'm mad. I'm going to post about it on what? We're taking it away. Like,
seriously. So what would the public outcry be? What could it be?
Please don't take away our TikTok. It's how we spend 3 hours a day. Like,
I mean, for real.
But there's nothing we can do about it.
You've seen those TikToks where it's like, if I could go back and tell myself one thing, and when I'm downloading, they're slamming on the door, they're panicking. Don't do it.
Yeah.
Don't do it. You're gonna be. It's the interstellar scene.
I'm gonna miss this where we get to talk about things we see on TikTok.
I know. This would be sad. What we could do, we just have to do it on our browser.
YouTube Shorts.
Yeah, do it on Microsoft Explorer.
Wow.
All right. So here's
gross.
I went as gross as I could on that.
Yeah, it was gross.
It's pretty bad.
Netscape.
Ooh. So, all right. So my next question for you is, what are advertisers going to do?
They're going to dump their money into YouTube and the other companies?
They're going to have to. Because the amount of money that advertisers spend in TikTok is insane.
Yeah. And it'll be shifted over to the other ones.
Think about it. Like that is what, if you're trying to reach, you talk about a target demographic of people. If you're talking about retirement and your Medicare plan, you're not doing it on TikTok. You're doing it on something else.
Yeah.
That's actually, ironically, the state has this big thing with United Healthcare for Medicaid. They're doing an entire campaign. The only platform that they are using to talk to seniors is Facebook.
Yeah, that's where
they're not doing it on anything else. Like, name another one. They're not doing it there. It's entirely on Facebook. So that's super intriguing that you would lose all of your targeted demographic advertising to an entire group of people, which could be the ones with they don't have the most to say, but they have the biggest voice because they actually have a voice to be able to do that. Yeah. And then my other question is, what about all these content creators?
I mean, they're going to be begging people to go over to these other platforms.
Oh, they are.
I mean, if they even get a chance, if this thing happens like overnight.
Don't know.
And here's the thing that really is bad. Like, all of my drafts, I've got like 100 some videos ready to be published that I've spent hours on. And TikTok's my first one. I post there and then it auto posts everywhere else. I'm going to lose, like, between the two accounts, I'm going to lose like 200 videos.
They're just sitting in there.
They're just chilling.
I'm curious what your app size is for your TikTok.
It was over. It was like 150, 200 gigs.
I think everybody knows this. Like, you do drafts. Like, you're recording your video or whatever, and it sits in your drafts. You haven't released it. It's just sitting there waiting. So you can go in there and post it immediately. And I mean, I've got it. I don't have that many. I don't have even close to that many. But it would be terrible because you would. It's not like you can go in there and download those. They're in your drafts. And I can't go anywhere else.
No, if they announce it, I literally just might post like 200 videos in like 2 days. Like,
that would be amazing.
I just might do it because that's the thing. Like, I've got stuff like I filmed like last weekend. I went to Dallas with my daughter and we filmed 30 videos that on Saturday and just walking around filming them at the show. I can't go reproduce those. No, make them again. They're at a show. They're on location.
This will have, I think, advertisers, yes, content creators, yes, but I think I think there will be a generation of people that will be furious, and I think this will breed some mistrust.
Yeah,
in their own government, who is. For all intents and purposes, trying to protect them from this foreign company spying on them. But at the end of the day,
like,
no, let's say at the end of the day, they do everything is in. What's tricky is I've seen, just in what my job is, I have seen things get hacked that weren't supposed to get hacked.
Yeah,
and it's
in America.
In America. But if all this stuff is here and China still does have access to it, the U.S. government won't be okay with that.
No,
they're
like, we are the only ones that can get hacked. They're like,
that's ours. Our job.
Ours is to not be able to protect the American people, not yours.
So the clock is ticking. This is very, very real. I think we will know something this year for sure. Actually, I hate to say it. My prediction is this thing the only way this thing gets saved is if the entire thing gets sold. That's the only way it gets saved to a U.S. company. I'm sorry.
And the only ones who's left that can buy it?
Yeah, for real.
I mean, it's like, okay, Google can buy them. And then
yeah. Oh my gosh, what a superpower
that'd
be
incredible.
What would the valuation be on that?
Oh, they'd be insane. They're already huge. It's already like one of the top 2 or 3 biggest ones in the world.
Well, it's the number 1 downloaded app worldwide.
Are you talking about TikTok?
Yeah, TikTok.
Oh, sorry. I mean, it's got to be a couple $100 billion minimum.
Yeah.
Would it $100 billion? Yeah, because they tried to buy Snapchat for $50 billion.
And Snapchat's like a fraction.
That was back when it was popular.
Yeah.
Facebook tried to buy it. But it's at least a couple $100 billion.
Man. Yeah, this could go bad. This could go really, really bad. Just that's we're just giving you information, telling you where it's at. This is right now. We're recording this in January. Give it a couple months. We'll do a recap. We'll come back. We'll let you know because we're going to explain the news to you.
Yeah, as we do every day.
Stay smart.
Oh, wow, that's how you end it.
No,
or you want me to? Oh, okay.
No. I was just saying. Okay. That's so that's it. Hopefully this helps you know what's going on. You guys can make sure you get everything out of your drafts folder pretty soon. We'll tell you, and we're doing
you see
these.
Tyler start posting a video every 3 minutes. He's just sitting there hitting upload.
Don't unfollow him.
No,
go get your drafts cleaned out.
Yeah, clean out your drafts, boy.
Clean them drafts.
Clean out them drafts.
Hey, also one of the people that will definitely lose out on all this is The Rock. How is he going to spread his propaganda?
I mean, he's on. Like he doesn't even know what TikTok is. He's just like, film me. I'm working out.
Yeah.
Big dog eat.
Terrible. Yeah, terrible. All right, guys. Hopefully this helps you stay the smartest person in every single room that you're in.
Every room you're in.
Yep.
Look at you. Have a good conversation, but be nice to TikTok. If you're a lobbyist,
be nice.
Stop being mean. Goodness gracious.
So much money.
So much money.
We're
at least people aren't putting money over other people. We would never. People would never do that.
No, never. No, never do that.
Hey, thank you guys for listening. We really appreciate it.
Yeah.
And if you want to 5-star, blah, blah, do the things that you do. Hey, guys, they're about to shut down our podcast. If you go to our YouTube channel, hit like, subscribe. Check us out on Instagram.
Oh, yeah.
At Neil Greathouse.
Nope.
At Tyler Tarver.
At Dr. Senior Tarver.
At Neil. Are you Neil Greathouse on Instagram or Neil Greathouse?
No
you
dots.
Have Neil Greathouse?
No dots.
No dot free since 93.
No dots.
Hey, thank you guys so much for coming to my TikTok.
Bye. Wow, that was really high. Sorry, bye.
Bye.
Thanks for listening to Tyler and Neil Explain Everything, officially your 4th favorite podcast. New episodes every Monday and little baby bonus episodes every Thursday. And remember, if you want to meet your true love, send this podcast to your friends. Looks like you made it.